Hey y'all, it's Holly. As you may have been told, being able to tell from my thumbnail, I actually don't have a, DVD copy of, or a Blu-ray copy of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I did have a VHS somewhere, but I may have gotten rid of it. I don't actually know. Um, if I end up finding it, that'll be the new thumbnail. So, depending on which thumbnail you see, I have found it or didn't find it. Anyway. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I always kind of knew that I really liked Lazenby. Like even when people were talking about him and stuff as Bond, and I had seen bits here and there, but like it was always in my mind, like, oh yeah, Lazenby's like that's one's probably gonna be my one of my favorites because of like the quality of the movie. Lo and behold, the quality of the movie is really good. Um, it is definitely much more serious, more grounded, serious. Like there's still a lot of comedy, but I think he pulls it off. I think the whole movie pulls it off. I say the weirdest bit is him just hanging out with all the women on the fortress, kind of. But beyond that, like so, I think he works with the comedy fine. I think honestly, between him and Dalton, I think are definitely the top two Bonds for me. Like in terms of book Bonds. He doesn't have the harshness of early Bond, which Dalton does get down, but he definitely has later, lighter Bonds. Like, um, I don't fully know if he gels 100% with the book. I'm currently reading the book, but definitely like some of the lighter fare, like maybe a little bit of not quite live and let, but like definitely something that you would have seen in Spy Who Loved Me, maybe lighter on that one. Even a little bit of Thunderball, like those ones were a bit more lighter, kind of, where he's lighter at least. Um, Mostly the ones where he's hanging out with Felix a lot, in particular. Actually, yes, Diamonds Bond. Like if Lazenby did Diamonds, like a straightforward version of Diamonds, I think that actually worked really well. Um, Yeah, no, this was really good. The locales are great. Like the cinematography is really good. It's a beautiful movie. Um, I like I said, I do really like his Bond. I do wish that we got more movies. I'd be really curious on how it would have been if we got like a second or third one. To see how he would have changed, how the vibe would have changed around him. Because as it stands, I still place this like in terms of um how it is like I place it kind of closer in tone with maybe From Russia with Love a little bit. Um or perhaps like maybe Doctor No, but even then Doctor No is lighter. Um maybe I can see an argument for someone saying it's kind of like if I'm comparing it to Connery movies, it's kind of like the movie that preceded it, being You Only Live Twice. So it's kind of like that. Um, but before I get too far deep, remember, if you like my stuff, please subscribe, comment, like, hit the notification bell, share it. Also, uh, somewhere there will be a link to my other Bond videos if you want to catch up on those. Uh, but yeah, basic for those who don't know, basic spoiler plot is light spoilers. Yeah, spoilers. Bond is still trying to find Blofeld after the events of the previous movie, previous two movies actually, um, and he's eventually just taken off because M's had enough. Like he can't find him. It's been over a year, and enough already. But Bond's tenacious, so he's going to keep looking. He stumbles upon this countess who already like this is a difference within the book and the movie. I can already say is that in the book, um, their meeting is kind of swapped. In the movie, he finds the countess already trying to drown herself in the ocean immediately, and then meets her at the casino and stuff like that. In the book, he meets her at the casino before and starts a slight relationship before that. So I think the book does work out a bit better because in the movie it kind of just happens, but There is a complaint I have. It's a weird complaint. Not a weird complaint, but like, sort of complaint within the book, but I'll get to that in another time. Anyway, uh, he meets with the Countess. The Countess turns out to be the daughter of this, like, really, like, the head of, like, a ultra mafia kind of thing. Like, they're the second most powerful group behind Spectre. Um, and the leader's like, "Yay, I'll help you find Blofeld, but you pretty much got to marry my daughter for me because she needs to settle down. She's crazy." Um, and by the way, the daughter, Countess Tracy, is played by Diana Rigg. And those old school people will know her from the original Avengers, not Marvel Avengers, but the TV show Avengers about spies, the Avengers. So she's in two spy things. Fun. But he's like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But eventually, yeah, they do start to fall in love. But he does get a hint on where Blofeld is. Blofeld turns out to be running like a allergy spa and like trying to solve allergies in Switzerland. He fakes his way in, and then Bond shenanigans happen. Obviously, the most well-known bit of this movie, beyond Lazenby just doing it one, is that he marries Tracy, and at the end, she gets killed. Um, there's it's like so that part there is the part like there are a couple things that transfer over into other Bond movies for sure, but that one in particular, like this movie in particular, is probably the one that affected Craig the most. In particular, Casino Royale. Um, at least how all of that's handled because of the most emotional Bond before Craig. Um, and how he deals with women, how he deals with himself. He's much more like he's not as harsh as Craig, like not as harsh as early Daniel Craig, but he's more think Craig when he's with Vesper, the end of Casino, and his kind of uh, down moments, not his angry moments, but his down moments during Quantum. It's that kind of feeling. Um, and really surprisingly, this this one influenced Austin Powers a lot, which was the thing that kind of surprised me because like I didn't it never really clued in to me that like this so like how Austin Powers has a ruffled shirt. Lazenby does too. Lazenby pretends to be a guy who's like heritage from Scotland, or maybe Bonds is too. Either which way, there's a point where he's wearing a kilt and stuff, the whole thing. Austin happens to be Scottish. Um, and then, like I said, he hangs out with a bunch of women. They all want him, and he sleeps with a couple of them. Austin Powers 100% would. So, weirdly enough, like this one and elements. I feel like Austin Powers was like influenced by two big bonds in particular. Three. Three big bonds. Um, You Only Live Twice, for Connery, especially like the moon-based thing in that version of Blofeld. Uh, on Her Majesty's with how he acts and the dress and stuff. And then probably if any of the more movies, I would say the most obvious is going to be Moonraker, especially with Austin Powers too. But besides that, yeah, like I don't know how else to describe it. That it's really just well done. I did realize one thing, and that may just be once again like I realized it could just be like the editing at the time and how they just changed, but this one also had a little bit of fast-paced action, like sped up, and that was my complaint with Goldfinger, was they had the same thing. So it could, and I noticed it a couple other bonds, so maybe that was just an editing thing back then. Quite possible. Oh, there's one funny thing, and I would love to deep dive into it. I could create a whole theory around it, but there's a scene where like Bond is in not London, Switzerland, Spain. He's in Spain, maybe somewhere. He's somewhere. I forget, unfortunately. But in the background, like he's driving, the car's parked. In the background, you see a VW Bug, And it's not 100%, but the stripes on it are very similar to Herbie, the love bug, which gets me all thinking like, clearly Q created Herbie and now it's gone awry, and that's why it's all the gadgets because it's Q. Clearly it's the same because why wouldn't it? Because obviously Ian Fleming also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which is about another car that can fly and do all crazy things. So why wouldn't Herbie be in this? I don't know. That's just fan theories there, but who knows? That's just a fun one. That's one for all you to think about. Uh, Imagine if Herbie's actually in the James Bond universe. That'd be wild. That would make too much sense, wouldn't it? This one does feel kind of standalone-y in a weird way. Um, Somewhat. I feel like you could just watch this on its own and be completely fine. Uh, but yeah, like if you're gonna watch any Bond that's not the main ones, of course, watch this one. I really do think like this one is gonna be like one of the ones I recommend just to anyone. Like this one for sure. This one and from Russia are like the top two that I would probably recommend to anyone. Maybe like not top two, but like this one's definitely the top five that I would recommend. I'll work on the list later, but that will be that. Anyway, see you next time.